Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. One more week until Christmas. In fact, a week from today will be the day after Christmas. December 26th is in 1 week from today. Isn't it crazy how quick this holiday season has gone by? It is for me. Just so quick and so there was no stopping it, man. There was no stopping it. It came and went. I mean, it's not over yet. There's still a lot to do in such short little time. But it's almost over. It's almost time to look forward to the new year and what that's going to bring for me, for you, anybody in your family. Whether you actually think that, maybe not think, but whether you actually do like New Year's resolutions or like make big changes when it comes to the new year and stuff like that. I'm one of those people that I tend to do that type of stuff because I think it makes me feel like there's something I can work towards in the brand new year. And that I think I'll be doing something like that in next week's episode. I'm going to be talking about that type of stuff. But for now, I haven't honestly thought about it because when really is a good time for you to actually like sit back and think like what would be like a good like New Year's resolution? Like how much thought and effort actually goes into that, you know? I feel like it's gonna it usually happens to most people, like, you know, the last day of the year. They just kind of, you know, think of something that they can do that will be better for them in the next year and then try to do that, you know? When really, like, a New Year's resolution is, like, something that is, you know, supposed to be, like, year-long and like, fulfillment, you know? And I feel like that is just something that would take, I think, more time to think about than like what it seems like New Year's resolutions just take like maybe one day to think about. I don't know. I have no idea. But you know what is kind of weird though? I was at the gym and you know, at the gym they have like these TVs in front of the treadmills and just have like regular stuff on, like normal like daytime TV, right? They usually have like a channel that's on like local news. They have like a house building show. They'll have like a cartoon. They'll have like Judge Judy or like Divorce Court. They also have like these animal rescue shows. I've seen a lot of these animal rescue shows, like a ton of them. Different types. I think there's one that's called Wilderness Warden or something like that. It's like these like wildlife cops that are just like making sure that all the animals in like a specific area are being taken care of, like they're not causing too much trouble with the people that are in that said area. So it's like kind of, you know, fun to watch. But I realized that these shows like really are kind of graphic. And not just because like there's like wild animals and like they show them like looking all vicious and shit, but like sometimes with these shows like they'll straight up like have like parts of an episode where they like find like an animal that's been like, you know, mangled and mutilated and just treated badly and has to get surgery on something or repair something or get stitches. And like these shows really don't hold anything back when it comes to like medical procedures on animals. Like if an animal needs like their stomach or their abdomen opened up and they do it, they will straight up show it on the TV without blurring anything. No type of censorship. And this is like on Animal Planet. And I'm thinking to myself like, yo, this show is like legit wild. Like they straight up don't give a fuck what they showing on this show. Like they'll be operating on like a dog's like broken leg, and they have to like, cut him open to repair something. I'm like, what the fuck? How is this even allowed to be showed on like daytime TV? I know that it's on Animal Planet, so it's not like, regular TV, like it's on cable, but like still, like, I don't know. It just feels so freaking gruesome. Like, I don't want to be freaking like walking on the treadmill and then seeing like some poor dog get like operated on. Like, no, thank you. There was like a really, really gruesome, like disgusting scene that I saw on one of these shows, these animal rescue shows. And it was straight up, the dog's leg was like infected, and that shit straight up had maggots on its leg. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Why is this being shown right now? How is this not blurred out? This is disgusting. They would never show this on an actual person on TV. There's no way. But it's weird because, like, an animal, sure, fine. You can show gruesome, gory, disgusting shit. With a human, not going to happen on daytime TV. And if it does, it's going to be censored as fuck. You ain't going to see shit. So my question is, why don't they just do that with these shows in the first place? Like, why even, like, just because it's not human, they don't got to censor it? Like, still, it's disgusting. Like, censor that. Nobody wants to see that at all. I just feel like that they think that because it isn't a person, they can just kind of get away with it, which I feel like is what they're not trying to do. But like, I think that's the case. Because this is not a human being, they're able to kind of go for that type of, go that far. Even though it's gross as shit. Like, nobody wants to see an animal get cut open and operated and fixed up. Like, that's just terrible. At least I think. I mean, I enjoy animals. I like dogs. I like all these, I like these, furry animals. I think that they're cute and all that, but I don't need to see them being operated on, It's almost like as bad as, how like those commercials about, the animals in the pound, how they need homes and all that, and they want to be adopted. And these poor animals, right, are just like, have been just beaten up and tortured, and it's sickening and it's sad, right? But it's like, it's kind of not good to look at. It's like, I don't want to see it. Like, I know that these dogs are, beaten to hell and all that, and they're treated very poorly, and they want us to adopt them. I get that, but like, that's kind of coming off kind of strong, like showing a dog straight up like beaten up and its eyes, gouged out or scarred or something like that, or he's all clawed up, and that's just nasty to me. Like, I don't want to see that. No, thank you. Like, I understand like these dogs need homes and like they're in trouble and all that, but like, for that shit to be an actual commercial is just kind of like wild. It's kind of like out there. Like, maybe we should not be putting that on TV. I don't know. I just feel like it's a bit much. I get it. Some people will probably be like, we need to show that so people can adopt animals. I understand that too. I get it. But it's just like, certain parts of the day, I should not be, welcomed to the TV with seeing a just jacked up dog or cat. I prefer to not see that type of gruesome shit, during the day. Especially like when I'm like, if I'm, in this case, I'm working out, somebody could be watching that while they're having lunch. I mean, like, that's just not something that I, in particular, would want to see that often. It just would be kind of weird, I think, to see that type of stuff. But yeah, those shows, legit, man, I kid you not, they go wild. and they do not hold back. How gruesome it could get, how disgusting it could get in those shows. They don't hold back whatsoever. Something in the news that's been going around that honestly has me a bit intrigued. What the hell is up with all these drones, man? What's going on? Why are there drones? What seems to be all around like the East Coast. Mainly the most popular sightings have been in New Jersey, and I've seen some videos of what appears to be drones. And I hear people saying that they are drones, and it's become a national news headline. People are wondering what they could be. Are they actually drones? If they are drones, whose drones are there? Why are they around? What are they doing? It has the countries really scratching their head like, what is actually going on? And I'm in that category too. I don't know what's going on, but I sure as hell can speculate. And I can speculate to save my life. Do I think that these are drones? And are they? And do I think that they are drones of a known technology? I do believe that they are drones. I have seen videos, and they do appear to be drones. Now, I'm also hearing that these are like super massive drones, like maybe 8-foot long drones, which I've never heard of. I mean, probably like a military grade drone, possibly. But I don't think that there's any drone that you could purchase on the market today as a civilian and it be that big. I just don't think that that's even possible. And that the fact that there's that many drones, right? And they're flying super low where people are able to photograph and video record them in pretty decent quality. And I've seen a couple videos, and they still do appear to be drones. Like there's like, in my opinion, there's like no like confusion whether it's a drone or something else. The question is like, whose are they, right? I think that that's question number one. Whose are they? Why are they here? Well, I've seen some hearings. I've seen people question like the FBI and these other organizations of national security, and them asking in their statements, I mean, I honestly just don't believe, if I'm being honest. They say that there's nothing to worry about, yet they don't know whose they are. I mean, to me, that is not, that those answers cancel out each other. Like, you can't tell me that there's nothing to worry about and we don't really know what it is or whose it is. I'm sorry, but those just don't go together. Those are not possible statements. Those don't bring in truth. They bring in fiction and falsehood. I'm just being honest. Like, when I see these, heads of the FBI and these high up politicians, how they can't even answer like what they're doing or whose they are, I'm sorry. For one, you're not doing your job. And two, I just straight up do not believe you at all. Like, how could I possibly believe somebody who is in the position of being in the FBI, who has security eyeballs everywhere, who has these clearances to view, specific angles, specific cameras of things that are being recorded and documented, and you're telling me that you don't know what these are? I've seen, pictures that have been released to the public of from satellites, like images that are like that could completely 100%ly a detail like an area on the planet from a camera from a satellite, and you're telling me that you don't know what this is or whose this is or what exactly it is. Like, I just don't believe you. I can't believe you. Like, it's like, you could only, honestly, man, I mean, I've said this before many times, right? You can tell when someone's lying to you. You can tell. Like, there is no hiding it. You know, the people who are asking the questions are people. The people who are telling the lies are people. They're not robots. They're not some other being that has overall power over us human beings. They are people too. And we can sense when these people are full of shit. It's just that simple. The fact that they are actually thinking that they could just get away with it is crazy. But you know what? They will get away with it. They will. Because this stuff has happened. Stuff like this has happened in this country multiple times already. And you know what ended up with those in those times? Answers were not given. There were no answers. There was no clarification. There was no press conference. There was no telling of the truth. There was no reaffirming what people saw. There was no ensuring that you're okay. There was none of that. You were just left to go about your lives and worry about your day-to-day things. That's what happened. Remember, I think it was last year, there was like a hot air balloon that was like going over the entire country, and people did not know what it was or why it was there. And you asked, I mean, even like President Biden didn't even really know what it was. And like for days, like we just like let it go through the country, just float through the country. Like, it could have been spying, could have been poisoning us, could have been doing, some type of weird shit, hacking, I don't know. But it was just let happen. And it brought up a bunch of national security like concerns and like, wait a second, what is going on? How come this is not being taken care of as soon as it could be? Why was it even allowed to make its way this far into the country? And you did nothing about it. And what was their response? A lot of confusion. It was shot down, I believe. And then it was just like, yeah, no follow-up, no reassurance, no press conference, nothing after that to confirm what we saw was actually what we saw, or was it something different? Nothing was followed up with that. And that's what's going to happen this time too. I could pretty much guarantee you that is what's going to happen, because if they don't have the answers to what this is, or they say that they don't have the answers, it's because one, they actually might not have the answers, or two, they don't want you to know what the hell this is or why these are there. That's just a fact. One man's knowledge is the strength to the other person's ignorance, if that makes any sense. What these people know is the strength to what you don't know. To keep you down, to keep you not thinking, to not use your brain and voice of like what you think, what is happening and what is going on and what you think, because ultimately the people that are in charge want you to think a certain way about something that's happening, and they want you to forget about it. They want you to think that everything is under control when maybe it might not be. It could be an existential threat. It could be an international threat. I mean, that's the question, right? Whose are these? Whose are these? If it's ours, why not say it is ours? Just come out and say it. Like, hey, these are our drones. They're practicing. They're doing an exercise of something. Or maybe what I've heard a lot of people say what this could be is even scarier than just like a training exercise. I've heard from multiple, I don't have sources. They're not actually sources, but like, people online are saying and reporting that these drones are trying to find a nuclear bomb that is seemingly lost in the United States. And that is a scary, scary thought. Just to put it into perspective, apparently a nuclear bomb that came from Europe wound up in the United States and has gone missing. And these drones are like super sophisticated drones, apparently, and they're trying to sniff out the bomb. Like sniff out the gamma radiation that the bomb is emitting that only these drones can pick up. When you put it that way, it's kind of scary. I mean, sure. I mean, that is horrible, horrible, horrible news. Nobody wants to hear about that. But hey, if it's true, I think the people deserve to know what's going on. I mean, I would want to know what's going on. Wouldn't you? If you don't, like, there's something inherently wrong with you. You don't want to know what's happening in your own backyard. Another thing that happened that was sort of brushed away and just kind of left alone, that wasn't there like a train accident like in Ohio that like leaked a ton of chemicals into the air, and it was supposed to be something so bad, like incredibly, incredibly bad, but the media and the government made it seem like it was nothing, that it wasn't important, and what happened should not be taken too seriously. I'm sorry, guys, but I know you want to downplay and control how we think and what we should be afraid of, but like that to me seemed like something that should have been much more, heavily pressed, and that the precautions should have been taken much more than what they were back when it happened. Same now. Like there's no reason why, a person, a civilian, a citizen of this country, let's say in New Jersey, is freaked out by what they're seeing in the sky. And what seems to be like armies of drones just patrolling, their neighborhood. And nobody knows whose they are, apparently. I mean, you can't keep you can't keep getting away with it. You just can't. Like your lies have never been more like lies than right now. Like these are blatant lies. You don't know what they are. How many people actually believe when they say that they're telling the truth, that they actually don't know what these are or whose they are, and they're just letting them get away with it? Now, I was never one of these people who believed that these were aliens. No, I don't think so. They move too much like drones to be aliens, I think, in my opinion, unless aliens adapted drone technology to kind of like blend in with drones, so we won't be as, curious of what we're seeing. I just feel like that these are drones. What I've been hearing from people, what they say is like they're super sophisticated drones, which if they are trying to sniff out a nuclear bomb, kind of makes sense of how they operate differently than normal drones that we're used to, right? I mean, they are drones. I see them. I've seen the videos. Now, of course, there's a lot of videos out there that have not been quote unquote verified, meaning that this video could be full of bullshit, which is crazy to me. It's insane. I mean, you straight up can't see anything that's real anymore. Isn't that freaking stupid? Isn't that just annoying that everything that you see now has to be questioned and fact checked and gone through like a rigorous like system to tell whether or not that this is actually real or not, or this happened when it actually says it happened. I remember when the war between Russia and Ukraine broke out, and when you would go on Twitter back then, when it was called Twitter, and you would see videos of horrendous things, right? Bombings, jets being scrambled, things getting shot down, helicopters being shot down, planes being shot down. I mean, like, and you would actually like go through it and go through all this stuff, and then you would find out that none of that shit that you saw was actually from the Ukraine-Russia war. It was from some shit like years ago that was in a different country, and people are just putting it out there saying that it is from the Russia-Ukraine war and just absolutely getting away with it. So when I'm seeing these videos of these drones, I'm already doing the same thing where I'm just like, is this even real? Is this actually from there? Was this actually recorded, recently and put up in because of this situation with these drones and what they could possibly be? There really is like no way to actually know, unless you were there and you saw the person film it and you were with them when they posted it, and you can verify like, yes, this is real. We saw it together with our eyes, and I recorded a different angle, and this is what I saw, and they match up. Like, it's so fucked up now, like how we don't trust anything or anybody. Isn't that just sad? It's like it's so sad, and it's so like depressing. Like, it's almost like we're actually at war with each other of what is true and what is not true. It almost kind of seems like it's a battle that cannot be won because there are people that want to, for some reason, lie about things and spin things and twist a narrative in a way. For what reason? I have no idea. Maybe all this is like to like it's like an inside job to distort and to install a distrust in the American people and in people in general. That way they have to, in a way, are forced to obey and watch like the news to be truly informed. That this is all just an inside job, by bots from other countries to, like in a way, like install a distrust in like social media, so that whatever you see on X or Instagram or even TikTok is not real. It's fake. And none of it is even in the right context and what it says, that it's just all bullshit and made up. What if it's like like an inside job like that for the mainstream media or legacy media to like gain their credibility back? Because that has also kind of lost credibility as well, in a way, when they spin stories, or spin like things that, aren't, or not giving full details on certain things, details that matter, that change a narrative of a story. That is real too. That has happened. We have been witness to those things that happen at these places. So maybe it is, in a way, kind of like I'm saying, like an inside job that they're paying bots to pump out this, these videos that are real videos but have no indication of like what is actually currently happening, and are labeled like this is what's happening now, but this actually happened years ago. That actually infuriated me when I would see that shit. When I would see the videos of like a jet engaging like an air to ground target, and it wasn't even real. Like, it happened, but it wasn't happening in the conflict that like just happened, and it was titled, "This is, what happened in Ukraine." Like, it was bizarre how much you could not believe what was happening on Twitter back then. And now I want to say like this is all happening, but then again it's like, Jesus, what can I actually believe now? Like, why is it so hard to see to why do people, if it's even people, like why are they even posting stuff that is fake, right? Is it to get clicks, attention, followers, subscribers? Possibly, but like you're not gonna make like that much money, obviously, doing that type of shit on the internet. It's just I don't see it anyway happening. But then again, there's so much stuff that's allowed on X right now. Like it's a wild, wild west. So in a way, like you kind of have to like rely on the people working on X to I guess vet and like make sure like what we're seeing is actually what it's being uh um shown as. Like I don't want to see a video seeing like army of drones over New Jersey last night and then actually be like a video from like a drone demonstration for a performance done 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to see that. If I start seeing that type of shit, I'll know like, okay, this is just too much now. Like X has just become a place of lies, which it is. X is a place of lies. People can lie. And it's just like, I guess like if you choose to believe it or not. But then again, it's just like they want to make X so like X is like the news. X is the media. But if the media is lying, then it was just as bad as legacy media. Then it's not good either way. I guess you just got to find the right people. But it's hard to do that. Like I mean, like I said, like I'm not like a guy who's on X like that many times, that much out of the day. To be honest, I'm a pretty busy guy, so I don't really have that much time to be on X for that long. But I am on it a little bit throughout the day, and I do see some crazy shit. And I'm just like, I now just always kind of look at it now, and I'm like, is this real? Was it real? I mean, you can't forget about what happened during the Ukraine-Russia war, the Palestine-Israel war that's going on now. All the shit that happens and all the stuff that they put out there on X, whoever it is, these people that post this shit, claiming it's one thing when it's actually another. It's just hard to believe this stuff now, man. It's hard to believe any of this stuff. It's really hard to believe. I mean, I just hope that it's like not as like it doesn't get as bad because, I mean, dude, let's say like a nuclear bomb actually goes off in the United States, right? And someone posts a video of it, and let's say it's true, it actually happened, and people died. It's a tragic event. It's a horrific event. It's an attack on our country. It's a move that happened that must require retaliation. And there's videos of it, and then there's videos on X and everywhere, and it's truly happened. Because X and because back then Twitter there was so much crap on there that was just not true. People will not believe it. It could happen like in your friend's state, and some people will just not believe in it because they are just conditioned to none of this stuff being real or true to what they're saying that it is. And that's fucked up. If you really think about it, like that is so fucked up. Like it's almost like, what's that one like saying, cry wolf? You cry, the boy who cried wolf too many times and the wolf wasn't there. And then when he actually cried wolf and the wolf was there, no one believed him and then he died. Like that type of shit, Is it that bad right now? No, but it potentially could be. Like it potentially could get that bad where like no one believes anybody And that's just going to be an absolute disaster if that's even the case. I mean, that would be actually terrible for that to happen, where like people are just like, what? I mean, we don't believe you, but it's true. But it's just like, I don't know, man. It's so messed up. And this isn't even the first time. I mean, like I said, it was the footage of the what was supposedly happening during Russia Ukraine, during Israel Palestine, and not to mention one of the most famous ones that is still a conspiracy theory to me, the Miami Mall. I mean, that to me was, whew, they were covering up that shit hard. Like hard. Like they had no witnesses say anything on this. They had no follow up on what happened during that entire fiasco. Like nothing was actually confirmed. And I was just like, what in the fuck is going on? You know, it was just bad all the way around. So yeah, these drones seem to be a problem. Yes. Does it scare me that I can't trust what I'm seeing online? Yes. That scares me as well. Does it scare me that our government officials and FBI officials say that they don't know what these are? Yes. But also, I'm not only scared, I'm also disappointed and angry because I straight up do not believe what these people are saying, because there is actually no way in hell that they would be able to say it that comfortably that they don't know what these are. They 100% do know what these are. They just don't want to say it to cause a mass hysteria. They don't want to say it, and that's not good. Then you're lying. You're not just lying, but you're withholding information that is detrimental and important to the American people, to their everyday lives. That, hey, wouldn't you want to know if there was a nuclear bomb that was just somewhere in the country that it's just gone missing and these drones are trying to find it? Yes, I would want to know that. Please. You know, this is what you're just going to let it blow up and have so many people die? Not saying that that's what's going to happen or that's what's even happening, but let's just say it is. Are you just going to allow people to not know that there's a nuclear bomb in their country that is armed and ready to detonate? And that's why these drones are sweeping the states looking for this thing that's gone missing on the eastern seaboard. I mean, I would like to think that they would want me to know what's going on, that my life is in immediate danger. I would like that. I would think that would be very much appreciative of the United States government, but no, they haven't told us anything about it at all. They've said it's fine, that there's nothing to worry about. When people say that, there's nothing to worry about, that makes me worry even more. Like, I'm sorry, but that whole, like, you know, trick to, you know, don't worry about it is just makes everybody who's receiving that worry even more. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. That's how it's always been. You don't want me to sit back and be like, yeah, government's got it. You know, whatever. There's a bomb, you know? And just forget about it? No, I don't think so. We should not allow that to happen. That cannot happen. That is something that I think that is truly criminal, and is truly like letting the people of our country tremendously down. Like, how can anybody expect to trust you after the shit that you pulled? And I'm not saying that you know, they are lying, that there's nothing really there. It could be nothing really. But if it is nothing, why are you not saying it with confidence? Why is there people with contradicting reports that say one person says we're fine, the other person says we're not fine? You know? If it was truly fine, everybody would unanimously would say that everything is fine because everybody's looking at this in a different perspective. And if everything is fine, then everything is fine. Even if you're looking at it in a slightly different perspective than somebody else. If it truly is fine, we will be saying it's all fine. But we're not all saying it's fine. Some are saying this is really bad. Some are saying that this is nothing. I don't think that's good for the public. That's not good for the American people to hear. I think this is incredibly bad. Just because the fact that there's people that cannot say that we're fine, you know. And I got to be honest, I'm a little scared. You know, not only because this is straight up being let happen, there has been like very little retaliation, but it seems like they're okay with it. It seems like our leaders are okay with this. I can only imagine like what other countries are actually thinking of, like how we are handling this type of invasion slash, you know, everything's fine drone attack. You know, like China, Russia, Iran got to be like, look at these fucking losers. Their government doesn't even tell them what's going on. They just keep them in the dark. You know? That is just not okay, man. That's just not okay. How can we allow that to happen? How can we allow that to continue? How can we be fine with this? How can we be okay with this? We shouldn't. This is what we should be doing. We shouldn't be okay with it at all. So yeah, I mean, the drone thing has kind of taken the entire country / world by storm. Some are mocking us. Some are looking at us like, yo, what's going on in the United States right now? And I'll be honest, I can't tell you what's going on because my government won't tell me what's going on. Kind of sad, huh? Sad. I don't even know why that even happened. Why do they keep so many secrets from us? I just feel like there's things in this country that must happen in order for it to keep the lights on. There's some things that have to happen in this great country of ours that need to occur to keep the lights on, to keep the power on, to keep the country running, that we are totally unaware of, that need to happen, but do happen, so we can live about our daily lives happy, carelessly, free. It's got to be something like that, you know? And I think it might have spawned from, I hate to say it, but Roswell, New Mexico, when the alien flying saucer crashed, and they straight up reported it, flying saucer crashed in Roswell, New Mexico, and then changed the headline the next day to weather balloon. I mean, why would, yeah, I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. That is so hard for me to believe, you know? It just doesn't make any sense. Maybe that was the spark of why the government is so secretive on so many things that they don't want the public to know. Maybe it's because we are free people that we are able to, you know, if we need to overthrow the government, we actually are able to. As people of the United States, we're able to overthrow the government. There are laws in the Constitution that allow us to essentially rebel against the government. And those are in the Constitution. We just never do it because, one, we're afraid. You know, we're weak. And life is too good to do that. I mean, honestly, life in the United States is way too good to have a rebellion. It just is. You know? I don't see that many people actually rebelling against us who live here because, one, we have it pretty freaking good. You know? But yeah, I don't trust the government whatsoever with these drones. I just don't. How can I? How could anybody? I really can't see how anybody could trust them. They don't know what they are. Bullshit. How can anyone actually think that they're telling the truth when they say that shit, dude? Ain't no fucking way. Some of you might remember a couple weeks ago on the podcast, I was saying that I was going to go to Disneyland and California Adventure during the holidays. Well, I'm back now. I had my vacation, I had my fun. Went to California Adventure the first day, Disneyland the second day, and I gotta say, man, going during the holiday season, going during Christmas time is, I think, in my opinion, the best time to go to Disneyland. It is so festive. It is so fun. It is so, like, happy. They play Christmas music. They got Christmas parades, Christmas shows like fireworks. Um, California Adventure does Life in Color. That was a Christmas theme one. I mean, they decorated the entire park Christmas, both California and Disneyland. I mean, Jesus, man, it was truly magical. I mean, and it came and went so quick. I enjoyed every second of it. Walking for the entire day, walking and standing the entire day, and eating a lot of food, by the way. It was incredible. And I haven't been to California Adventure in about 15 to 20 years. And I finally get a chance to elaborate on California Adventure and where it stands today compared to Disneyland, because I'm going to be talking about Disneyland as well. But I thought I would start with California because, one, it was the first day we were there, and two, I haven't been in so long. So going back to California Adventure, I remember when I first went was maybe back in 2007, 2006. I don't really remember exactly which year, but it was pretty mid 2010, 2000s. And it was fun. It was really cool. It was a new park that I'd never been to. Cool new rides. I remember at the time they didn't have like the most rides, but they had some pretty good ones. Now they have a lot more rides, more areas in the park. A lot of the rides have changed though since I last went. For instance, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is no longer the Tower of Terror. It is now called the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. So got rid of like the California Hollywood themed ride and made it Guardians of the Galaxy. Pretty cool. You know, it's one of those rides where it like kind of, you know, you go on, you drop and you go up and then drop again and do all that stuff. It's terrifying. I mean, those rides to me, they just scare the hell out of me. Like, I've never been able to stomach those rides. Not because it actually makes me sick, but like the anticipation and just dropping in general, man, is just not a fun feel for me. I know some people like the adrenaline, the rush, you know, all that. I just don't really think that it's all that great, I'll be honest. It scares me. You know, I'll just say that it actually does scare me. But that was a fun ride. There's another ride that we went to. It was a Monsters Inc. ride. It was like a kid ride. You just kind of like, you know, ride in like some kind of like little thing and just see like a little animatronics. It's pretty cool. Went to that one. Went on the Incredicoaster, which if you are an OG, if you know, the Incredicoaster was once upon a time called California Screamin'. It's a roller coaster ride. It's like their biggest roller coaster ride in all the Disney parks over there between California and Disneyland. It's a fun ride still. I mean, it took a long time to get on the ride. It's like a 70-minute wait, and and when they say 70-minute, oh, they mean 70-minute. Like the app that we used, the Disneyland app, has the wait times pretty pinpoint accurate to how long it actually is. Like, there is like no funny business. If it says an hour, it's going to be an hour. If it says 15 minutes, it will be 15 minutes. I mean, it is pretty crazy how they're able to pinpoint the accuracy of the wait time on those rides through that app. It's pretty good. But on that one, Went on the Cars ride. I think it was like Radiator Springs Showdown or something like that. It's a pretty good ride too. That one was pretty good. And Cars Land is fairly new. When I first went to California Adventure, there was no Cars Land. And now that I've been, Cars Land is pretty sick. Like it's actually kind of cool. There's a lot of detail in that area of the park. All like the little places that they have in like Radiator Springs and the Cars movie are pretty much there. Luigi's tires. You got like a bunch of like different shops. You got like Sarge's, like one of his like shops there. I can't remember what it's called in the movie, but it's there in actual Cars Land. You got all the cars there too. Lightning McQueen, the Champ, he was there. Mater, all them boys. It was pretty cool. I like that area a lot. We went on that Ferris wheel ride, which, I mean, there was like a gondola portion where like some of the carts like kind of like they swing back and forth depending on like how the when the Ferris wheel actually goes around. It's pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. Didn't go on many rides at California Adventure, I'll be honest. I think that California Adventure, where it's pretty cool, it's a newer park. Obviously, it has much more accessible pathways and shortcuts to get from one place to another. In that way, it's newer. But I will say that the rides to me in California are not as good as the one in Disneyland. Maybe it's just because I haven't ridden a lot of those rides. So in a way, I was just kind of like, we were there just kind of seeing like, well, what's a good ride? Well, I know like a couple that I've been to years ago, but now there's more. But yeah, those are the rides that we went to. I will say this though. In terms of like food options, California Adventure is better than Disneyland when it comes to food options. Like California has much more restaurants, much more food vendors, much more, little food stands and places to get food everywhere in the park. I mean, I swear to God, like right by the Incredicoaster, there was like a chicken shop, a popcorn stand, a cookie shop, a place to get like alcohol. Like there was like so much stuff there just around that ride. And I was just like, this is incredible. Like everywhere you turn, there's like some place to get food. It was actually insane. We had some birria tacos at California Adventure that I thought were going to be absolute shit. They were the best thing I had at that entire trip. They were incredible. The flavor was off the chain, wasn't too expensive. It was surprisingly delicious. I was like, dude, these are freaking delicious. I can't believe how good these are. But yeah, California was sick. It was awesome. We stayed there until 10. The park closes at 10. The next day we went to Disneyland. And man, I just love Disneyland, man. Like Disneyland, the vibe is just, it's more like, it's just more magical. It really, really is. And you just can't beat it. The vibe of it is just unbeatable. From every land, what is it? Tomorrowland, Frontierland, Adventureland, Fantasyland, Toonland. I mean, it's the best. It really is. And we went on more rides at Disneyland than in California because we just knew more rides, and it just the rides were better, I think, than at California. Let me see. We went on a total of like maybe 9. Right? So I went to California Adventure on a Friday, which was very busy. And we went to Disneyland on a Saturday, which was even more busy. And I was just like, whoa. Like the fact that we were able to go on like 10 rides at Disneyland that day was kind of like overperforming, I think, because we didn't have the fast lightning lane passes. We just had regular passes. But it still felt like we hit all the rides that we wanted to. We hit Space Mountain, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, Big Thunder Mountain. We went on Tiana's Bayou Ride, which is like the new Splash Mountain. We went on some ride in Toonland, which is pretty cool. We went on the boat tour, like that's like the tours like around like the area that the boat goes through in the center of the park. Went on Haunted Mansion. I haven't been on Haunted Mansion in about like 20 years, honestly, and it was pretty cool. It was Nightmare Before Christmas themed, so that was pretty sick. Um, yeah, it was pretty awesome. I can't lie. Like the California Disneyland, while it does not have the same variety as food, it still has good enough food, but just not as much as California. Still great, still awesome. I will say though, Disneyland might need to just man up and just serve more alcohol in like everywhere besides Star Wars Land. Because at California, dude, every adult had like a drink. Every single adult had a drink, or at least one. And it's just like, people were just vibing more. The vibes were high in that park, for the adults. And if only like, Disneyland actually manned up and did that and actually like, let adults have fun, they would make so much more money, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, I had like a couple drinks that day, and they weren't even like super expensive, but it was just fun. It was fun to like just, kind of be an adult at California Adventure. And if Disneyland did the same thing, like, it would be even more fun for adults. So Disneyland, you honestly just need to man up and serve alcohol in other places than Star Wars Land. Like, throughout the park, just do it. Like, it's not going to be bad. Trust me. It'll be great. But yeah, that was a trip. It was a great trip. I honestly, I would do it again. Honestly, it was so much fun. It was a fun time. Fun to be actually like go there for more than one day. That actually might be the best way to do it. I was thinking, would more days be better? Maybe. But 2 is still pretty damn good, because you just get a full day of California and a full day of Disney, and honestly, like, you're just set. You are set. I think, in my opinion, I don't know. But I could see how a third day would be pretty lit. Maybe not go when the park opens, maybe go at like noon or 1, and then just kind of, hit the good rides and, have a bite to eat, catch a fireworks show, catch Fantasia, and, just kind of vibe out, kind of just walk around. That'd be cool too. But I think 2 days, one in California, one in Disneyland is the best way to do it, in my opinion. Last thing before I go, though. Today is a day, people. Today, by the time this comes out, the Superman trailer, the James Gunn Superman movie, will have its first teaser trailer to the world. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. This Superman movie that comes out in 2025 is probably my most anticipated movie of the year. It is so important, for one, because this is the launch of an entire new DC universe being helmed creatively by James Gunn in a way to kind of rival the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I just think that this movie, is it being a Superman movie, it has to be, man, I mean, this is just, Superman's like the most like well-known, popular first superhero. I mean, he's just the best superhero that there has ever been, in my opinion, honestly. And this movie just needs to absolutely hit. Like, it needs to hit on every. It might be the most important superhero movie of all time. Like, there's no like there needs to be a restoration in how we view superhero movies and how they should make us feel. Like, Superman is like the ultimate hero. He's the ultimate good guy. He is like the pinnacle of hope, courage, faith in mankind and humanity, and the believer of the of the American way, and just like this is like the ultimate superhero, and this movie is so important to I think the culture moving forward. Like, we need to see a man just do some good ass shit because he loves doing good ass shit. You know? We need to see that. And I feel like, honestly, looking back on the Zack Snyder Superman movies, like, those movies were just not good. They're just not the character. They're not Superman. I look back at them and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, this is what we got? How come no one was more up in arms when these came out? Like, this is so not Superman. Now, I know we haven't seen a trailer yet, and I'm speaking on this before the trailer even drops, but from what I've seen already, very little of what we've seen has been kept under wraps for a while. It already looks like more attuned and more keen to the character of Superman than whatever we got in the Snyderverse. Whatever you want to call it, it was just not it at all. So I'm looking forward to that. This is my most anticipated movie of the year. Probably the most anticipated and most important superhero movie in the last decade. Like, this movie needs to launch an entire universe. And number two, actually. Number one, it just needs to inspire people. I feel like a movie like this has the capability of inspiring people and making them feel good. And, what a better opportunity and a better character to deliver that, sense of, hope and belief than Superman. There really is no other character to put that, in people's eyes. I just feel like that this has to win. This has to hit so hard. Oh man, I'm so excited for this movie to come out, and I'm also so incredibly like, I don't want to overhype it. Even though that this movie has to do so much, it really does. I can't overhype it. I just can't. I have to stay calm. I really do. And I will. I'll try my best. And that's going to be it for me today, people. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.